welcome to MentorMe Memorable Moments. You're back. Welcome.
Yes, we're back.
And this is our fourth Sunday, so it's our Physical Health Sunday
Yes.
program, and we've got our Coach Dion Bush here. But let's say hello to 150 nations
150 nations. Hello.
in all 50 states.
All 50 states. That's
Yes.
awesome. That's
You
awesome.
have reached Mentor Me Memorable Moments, and we're just going to talk to you about maintaining good health. And again, tonight is our physical health segment.
Physical
We're going
health
to be talking
segment.
about the heart,
The
right?
heart. Yes, the heart.
Okay, and you are our coach. 'Cause
I
you
am
know
Coach
a lot
D.
about the heart.
Yes.
Because you're the American Heart
Association Elite Ambassador.
Yes.
I volunteer. I give back to the communities.
All right.
And
so
I
we're
love American Heart
hobnobbing. I love
Association.
that.
Yes.
Okay, so you know what? Let me show or share with you what we talked about the heart last year.
Okay,
I know you're going to cover a lot,
Absolutely.
but we just want you to get an idea of why this segment is so important for you tonight. And so, Mike, if you could throw up that first slide that talks about heart disease and cancer.
Yes.
Dion, Coach D, last year we talked about that heart disease and cancer are the top two killers in America, and every year it's estimated about 900,000 people will die from the avoidance causes. That means that they fail to maintain healthy. Exactly.
Nutrition,
Yes.
refuse to exercise. And I still want to add stress in there.
Yes.
Because stress is a factor. And I want to make note that heart disease and stroke are the number 1 and 3 over
Okay.
all the cancers out there. But
Oh.
cancer is still up there, so it's still important that we still take care of ourselves.
So it sounds like we haven't really improved in that area. We're still growing.
We're still growing because it's the mindset.
And down in that bottom area, it says American Heart Association through ultrasounds of overweight kids ages 6 to 19 with high cholesterol found a buildup of plaque comparable to that of a typical
45-year-old. Now, let me just make you know something. When I was 19 years old, my doctor told me at 19 that my cholesterol level was high.
Oh,
and she wanted me to drink skim milk, gallon of water a day.
At 19.
At 19?
Okay. And how well did you do that?
Not well at all.
Okay. Next slide, please. And so when we're looking at the young adult heart disease, we're also seeing that environmental factors play a big part of them having obesity.
Because most of the communities, they don't have the safe sidewalks or places that they can go to get the exercise.
Yes.
And then you got to think about the pollutants, the air. You have to think about all of that. So those are big factors.
And that the young adults 20 to 30 are having early heart attacks.
Heart attack does not have an age, a name on it. Anyone can get a heart attack.
And the thing about
Have a
it,
heart attack.
when we were talking about this, is that, they're young, they're vibrant, they're strong, they think they're invincible. So when they feel a little pain in the chest
They
or
ignore
a little tinkle down the arm, they ignore it. They just...
I'm too young. This can't be happening to me.
Exactly.
'Cause I was there. I did the same thing. I thought the same thing.
Okay, next slide, please. Yes.
Wow.
And
Those
so
numbers.
then, like you mentioned, stress is a big part of us having these heart attacks and these strokes and things
Yes.
like that. So when people are feeling overstressed, they're looking at their work demands. Every time
That's
there's a
number one.
layoff, they don't backfill. That work does not go away, and
That's
so
right.
you inherit those
They
work
get loaded,
products.
yes.
The loss and grief for failures. Somebody passes away that's very close to you. It's hard to get over that.
It
And
is.
I had even heard, and maybe you can comment on this, that when you do suffer a loss and you're grieving,
Yes.
the heart begins to beat a different way.
Yes, because that's still stress that you're putting on the heart. You're holding in those emotions, whether you let it out, but it's still, you're thinking about it, and that can have a lot, put a lot of pressure on the heart too.
And if you don't press through the grief, then that heartbeat or rhythm will not be able to reset itself, and so you have bigger problems.
Yes,
People can
absolutely.
die of heart attacks
Yes.
or
From not-
broken hearts.
Broken hearts.
Broken
yes,
hearts.
Yes. They can
Yes.
have some heart attacks too, depending on if it's major. So so you were still correct on that as well.
Financial pressures, relationship difficulties, and
Yes.
physical, emotional, and spiritual
Spiritual
levels of need.
Yes.
Oh my
absolutely.
gosh.
Stress. I see that stress is pointing out. Look at that. Don't take stress lightly.
That's right. That's
Do not
right.
take it lightly.
So if we can go to the next slide, please. So we talked about, the benefits of health and wellness, mental alertness, losing and maintaining a good weight, lifestyle changes being number one,
Yes.
and improving your breathing. Yes,
Yes.
yes. And we were going to
Cardiovascular
teach
respiratory.
everyone how to breathe.
Yes. I like when you do in the introduction, you do the breathe in and
Yes.
breathe it out. It's always good. Even when you're feeling nervous or stressed, it's always good to breathe in and exhale.
Okay.
I always say you breathe in the positive and
Yes.
you just exhale the negative.
negative.
Yes.
Mike, you can take that slide
I always tell
down.
myself that. Breathe in
Okay.
positive and
Okay,
let
so
out the
am I
negative.
breathing in from the tummy,
Yes.
from the abdomen,
what
from
you're going to
the...
engage your core and you just hold it for a few seconds and then completely exhale. Don't you feel better already?
I do.
Yes,
I do.
I feel better.
I
So do
really
that
do.
often. As often as you stretch, you should breathe as well.
And like I said, we did this, just a little tip, during, I believe it was February, Heart Awareness Month.
Yes.
And hopefully the viewers out there were able to gather some information from it. But I know you're going to kick it up another notch
I am
tonight.
going to try. I'm just loving this. So
Okay.
be ready.
Well, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and defer to you, Miss Coach D.
All right,
Everyone,
all right.
Coach D.
Well, welcome everyone once again. I'm so happy to be here. I have a wealth of information, and you can put up this slide because I always have to give my disclaimer.
Yes.
So today's title, you can leave that there, is Healthy Heart Basics. It's your heart. How are you treating it? Okay? Deion Shaw Bush, Coach D. Next slide. I always put up my disclaimer.
Hello.
It's subject to change, but my purpose here is that I am going to build a solid foundation for future physical segments to come. We're going to bring awareness, give you knowledge. I want to get you thinking. These points are, it's subjective, objective. You choose, but I'm on assignment. I'm going to give you the information. So what I'm doing is I'm monitoring you to take charge of your health, your heart, your life. It's all up to you. Excellent. So let's recap.
Okay.
We're going to recap from last month. In case you didn't join the show, January 31st, on the next slide, please. Recap. We talked about fit to be used for the kingdom, not just physically fit, but also spiritually fit. And we talked about us being spirit, soul, and body, right? We are a three-part being, three-part whole. Your spirit deals with your intuition, communion, and your conscious. Your soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. And then your body. It's your five senses. And then we also talked about, it's talking about exercise. So it's also about your body weight, endurance, your strength, flexibility, balance, agility, and coordination. So that's just a review. So remember, we are spirit, we have a soul, and we live in a body.
All right.
All right. Next slide, please. And remember, we said, see my hand on my head? Doing the same things over and over and over. I'm dragging that out. And over
Yes.
again, year after year after year. And we're expecting new results. That's just crazy. Now, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about me. I've done it over and over, expecting new results, and it's time for change.
Yes.
That exercise regimen you said you were going to start seeing your doctor, do so.
Okay.
All right, next slide. Last one from our recap. Actually, this is the next one. So remember, we said keeping physically and spiritually fit. I did a side-by-side comparison. Physically fit, spiritually fit. This is my exercise regimen, and then here's my the spiritual side of it,
Yes.
right? So you can do your own comparison. But to be physically fit and spiritually fit, they go hand in hand. All right? So that's good. So the last one, you had a question,
So that,
Tracy?
well, yeah,
Leave it
because
up.
I want to make sure that everyone understands that, we teach the 5 tenets of good health,
Yes.
good mental, spiritual, social, financial, and physical
physical.
health. And if you lose any type of ability in one area, it's just a matter of time before the other areas are affected. So when we're looking at being physically
fit.
fit here, we have to have a spiritually fit side to that to
Yes.
give us balance.
Balance is key. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
balance is key.
If we are not physically fit or spiritually fit, it's going to eventually affect us mentally.
That's it, mentally. Because it's a mindset.
It is.
It's
It
definitely
is.
a mindset. All right. So the next slide for us, please. All right, so again, we said just as an athlete vigorously trains to become fit and prepared, we spiritually become fit or mature when we take in accurate knowledge and exercise our thinking ability to distinguish right from wrong from God's standpoint. So my question is, what about you? This is the question I asked you guys last month. If you want to start this month, you start this month. But what will you start doing today?
Right.
How will you measure your growth? Remember, most of you know about the fruit of the Spirit, right? Galatians 5, verses 16 to 26. And then also the contents of your mind. Philippians, it's talked about Philippians 4. Let this mind be in you, which was also in Christ Jesus. And then you remember your scriptural memory and increase your prayer life. Those are the questions. So set a goal.
Right.
Ask God for your help so you can grow in him. So I'm telling you, this is all about you. My job here is to put the information out, help you with some of the physical training, but it's all what you're going to do, right?
Okay,
your
so-
health, your heart, your life.
So then I can't look at somebody else's regimen and say, I'm going to do the same thing that they're doing.
You know what? If, say, you didn't get a personal trainer, you don't have a trainer who's there with you, and you go and you see someone doing something, and you think, okay, we're comparable. I look at her size, her weight, what she's doing. If that's something to get you started, that is not going to bring harm, do so. At least you're doing something. So if someone's out there walking, which is the best exercise that you can do to start off with, walk. But I always tell you, walk with a purpose. But it's two parts to that. No, and then yes. It's okay. So it's starting. I see that person's doing this or that. Maybe I can get started with that. But it comes to knowing your own body.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right. So let's go on to now. So this month is Healthy Heart Month. I say
Yes.
Healthy Heart because it's all about your heart, and I want it to be healthy. And then it's also Black History Month.
Okay.
So the slide that I have for you is, we said February is Black History Month, and her name is Dr. Alexa Kennedy, and she is the first African American female neurosurgeon.
Woo.
All right.
Ding, 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 ding.
She specialized in pediatric neurosurgery and said, this is what she says, in order to provide good quality care, it is so important that patients, and I say my clients, are able to talk to me, not regard me as some deity above them.
Okay.
So I always say, don't put me on a pedestal where you think I am this God and she's, I'm holding her. She's got to tell me this and this and this. Yes, it is my job to lead you in the right direction, making sure you're doing the right exercises for your body type and condition, the level that you're at. But the thing is, I'm a student of my clients. So you're coming in, you're telling me about your body. You're telling me what aches you have, what are illnesses that you have, so that I can give you that physical, exercise prescription that is for you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So based on my limitations.
Based on your
All right.
limitations, absolutely. All right, so now we get into February. Next slide, please. February, Healthy Heart Month. I always put the heart in red because it's about the heart. So we talked about it earlier, Tracy. Heart disease and stroke causes heart disease and stroke are the one in three causes 1 in 3 deaths.
Yes.
I got it together, y'all.
Okay.
1 in 3 causes of death among women each year. More than all the cancers combined. So it's still some cancers out there that are taking women out, but it's heart disease and it's stroke. All right, they're 1 in 3. So what we can change that, because 80% of those cardiac and stroke events may be prevented with education and action.
Okay.
So I'm the education, and there are other resources out there, but because I'm the co-host of the physical health segment, I'm going to say I am the education.
Yes.
And you have to put the action into it, right?
All right.
So then we're going to go into the next slide.
But let me
You have one-
let me point out something on this slide, because this was something that came out last year as well.
Okay.
That women and men suffer strokes and heart attacks differently.
So
Yes.
let's talk about the heart attacks. Okay, so heart attacks. Men, they generally go with the pain. Anyone worked Sanford and Son, he always goes, oh, the heart, I'm going home.
Lizzie, I'm
So
coming.
it's most men have the pain in the chest. They're holding to their chest. Now, women, with us, we could have pain between the shoulder blades. We can have a jaw ache, a toothache. We can have indigestion. We can have heartburn. You can have vomiting, nausea. All of that can be signs of a heart attack. But don't think every time, oh, my tooth is aching, I must be having a heart attack. So that's when it come into knowing your family history. And if your
Okay.
doctor says that you have some, heart conditions, maybe when you get that pain in your shoulder, between your shoulder blades, you should get it checked out. But if you have a healthy bill of health,
Right.
then you may not. But if it comes frequently and you know that you need to eat certain foods and you have these heartburns,
Yes.
get it checked
Yes,
out.
yes.
But yes, men, especially men that are 45 and older, have a greater chance, and then women at who are 55 and older, because we're going through the menopause and
Oh
all
my
that kind of
gosh.
stuff, and go through
Yes.
the changes and heart palpitations and so forth. So that's the whole thing about with heart attacks, and also with strokes. If you've seen the commercials, even 20-year-olds
That's right.
can have a stroke. So again, stroke and heart attack, it doesn't have a name, a number on it. It's anyone can have it. And as a matter of fact, a young lady where one of my clients are, she's 22 years old, and she told me a few months back that she had to take it easy because she had a stroke
Oh my
a year before. And this is now look at her as my child, because our youngest child is 22, and she's around that age, and I'm just like, I'm looking at her like, what? And I said, so tell me about what you do. What is your daily activity? Well, she has 3 jobs. She's a
Oh.
full-time student in college. And I'm just like, that right there, that's
Right.
stress
Yes.
right
Yes.
there. But I'm like, have you reduced? And she's like, well, I need the money, so I need to do these jobs. I'm like, well, your health, your life is more important.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay. All right. And parents also beware, because there are
Parents.
stories out there where children that are 9, 10 years old, 11 years
Absolutely,
old, we reported on
absolutely.
last year that they are also suffering from heart attacks.
Yes. So heart attacks are no joke. It's just getting that education and relieving the stress, getting sleep,
Yes.
nutrition. But we're going to
Oh,
go through all
okay.
of that
Yeah,
stuff.
all
there.
right.
All right. So here's a picture. The next slide, please.
This is good.
Is a picture. Okay, see this heart. You see 2 different hearts there, right? So one is a normal human heart. See if you can pick out which one it is. And then one is an enlarged heart. It's enlarged by alcoholism and high blood pressure.
Oh, wow. This
And
is
it's
like a
covered in scar
catch-22.
tissue, right? It's covered in scar tissue, and it's nearly twice the size. Oh, I gave you the answer.
Well-
Nearly twice the size as a normal heart.
Okay, so when I look at this, I remember that the heart is about the size of a fist.
Absolutely.
But then you threw in that there were conditions that may have
Conditions.
expanded this heart. So I can't
Yes.
tell which is which.
So the one that is on my left and your right is the normal size heart. I forgot to bring my little. I had the last time I was on the show a thing of
right,
the heart.
of the
I was
heart.
going to bring it in. I was going to pull it all apart, but next time, because this is physical health, so we're going to talk about it. So the next slide. So you see the slide about the heart. So how does a healthy heart work? How is it? So first of all, you just mentioned it's a strong, hollow muscle that pumps blood throughout the body. All right, so picture that, blood pumping throughout the body. And then it is only about the size of a clenched fist. So turn it back so you can see me. It's the size of a clenched fist, and it weighs about a pound. So Mike, can you show us a clenched fist?
Got it.
So it's about the size of that. Okay, and it weighs about a pound. Okay, you can take us back to the slide. All right. So then we're going to talk about how the heart works. So every part of the body, because the heart is a muscle, all right, needs oxygen and nutrients.
Okay.
So I'm going somewhere here. So let's do how the heart works. And in the blood carries oxygen and nutrients to every part of the body. So the foods you eat, the things you drink, is going into the blood. People talking about diabetes is going through the blood. So all that. So next slide, please. All right, so those are nutrients. Okay, so blood vessels direct the flow of blood throughout the body. So healthy blood vessels are flexible and smooth. Blood vessels that carry oxygen-rich blood to every part of the body are arteries. You know about the different,
Okay.
if it bleeds, okay, if it's really pumping out and it's dark red, an artery has been hit, and that's really dangerous.
Oh.
Like Sean, the football
Football
player for the
player.
Redskins, he hit that artery, the
Right.
femoral artery, and it bled out.
Yes.
Okay, so, and then blood vessels that carry oxygen pour blood back to the heart are veins. So it's going to go in a continuous cycle, back and forth, putting out the oxygen-rich good blood, and then the oxygen poor blood back out.
Okay.
So then the heart is a pump that keeps blood moving, so it's circulating throughout the body. Each time the heart contracts, it forces blood through the arteries.
Okay. Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. That's it. Yes. So
Okay.
it's putting it out. So contract and expand. That's what the blood is doing, contracting and expanding. So that's what I teach in my CPR class. So CPR, I'm throwing that in because it's still about the heart. When a person goes out because of, they may have had a history of a heart attack, and then it turns into atherosclerosis, and next thing you know, they're going into sudden cardiac arrest. Okay, so they're out. So the purpose of the chest compressions is you're acting like the heart.
is
so you're pumping that
pumping.
blood.
Gotcha.
Yes. So
Okay.
the first 2 minutes are critical. So yes, very, very important
Okay.
to know about the heart and a healthy heart. So
So where's the heart located?
the heart is actually, it's center, but a little more on the left.
Okay.
So it's still over on this side. It's still center, but it's on the left. You remember we do a pledge allegiance to the flag? So we're
Right.
putting our hand over our heart. So that's where
Okay.
the heart's located.
And when we're pumping in CPR,
CPR,
where are we pumping?
we're pumping in the, okay, so it's called so it's different terms, but it all means the same. Center of the chest, lower half of the breastbone, or over the sternum.
Okay.
So
All
that's
right.
why it's easy. If you're giving high quality CPR, it is easy to separate cartilage and damage the sternum. But I'd rather you damage the sternum and I live,
Yes.
as opposed to you saying, oh, I got to stop. I can't do it anymore because I broke it. No, keep it, because I can thank you so much for helping me. I'm recovering. I'm healing, but
Okay.
I have life.
Okay.
All
Did you hear that?
Yes.
So don't sue the Samaritan.
So the Good Samaritan law. So those of you who are afraid to do CPR, Good Samaritan laws protect you. But there are
Okay.
some conditions. I know we're going out here, but it's all
all-
related.
it's all
relative,
related.
right? Okay. So Good Samaritan laws. You're out in the street, someone passes out. You're thinking, I can go and help them. So what's wrong? You tap the person, ask what's wrong. What's wrong? Hey,
Right.
can you hear me? If the person responds, get consent. May I help you? Because you are touching people. You're not going to do CPR on someone who's responsive. This is if someone is, if they're unresponsive, it's implied consent. You go and you help them. You voluntarily provide care. You notice I didn't say services, because doctors, those professionals, they provide services. You're voluntarily providing care without expecting or receiving any form of compensation.
Okay.
Because once you receive compensation, I don't care if it's a gift card, lunch, dinner, they can come back around and try to sue you, and it may be successful. Now, being a Good Samaritan, they can try to sue you, but there's never been any successful lawsuits against someone who voluntarily provided that care, as I stated, did not receive any form of compensation. You were reasonable and prudent. You weren't grossly negligent.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right, and you provided that care. So
And
don't be
just
afraid.
One more
Provide it.
question then. The person has a do not resuscitate.
Okay, so that's a little gray area. When you're out in public, you don't know, one, you don't know this person that's out on the ground. Then two, you don't know the person who's coming to you with the DNR, saying that this person cannot be, do not resuscitate. And then two, do you even know what a legal document looks like? Suppose you
Right.
don't know what a DNR looks like. This is it could be your first time hearing it. But the one thing I tell you, if they present you with a DNR, call 911. You'll get back on the phone with them and just say, hey, this person's presented me with this one. What should I do? Because your safety is number one. Because suppose that person becomes irate, they become like they want to harm you,
Right.
because you say, well, I don't know what that is, and I'm going to keep on saving this person's life. And they're saying, no, I have a DNR. You got to stop. Scene safety, your safety, number one. So if they come and say, I got a DNR, stop and still call, because again, you don't want someone to say you stopped and you could have been helping because they didn't hear the whole conversation. So back on the phone, 911, this is what's happening, describe the person. I just say cover yourself, make sure you're safe.
Right. And the person you're talking about is, I have a DNR, is the person that
Is
they
the-
may be
it,
with.
It could be a bystander, someone they were
Yes.
with. Exactly.
Okay,
Not the
all
person on
right.
the ground. So if the person on the ground says I got DNR, then you're not doing anything anyway.
That's right. That's right.
They are alive. We do not want to do anything for that. All right. So we can go on to the next slide.
This is good.
Yes, I love it.
This is good.
Absolutely. So again, it's all about your heart. You notice how I capitalize, and I just want you to know, because the focus is on you. It's all about your heart. So remember, we talked about 80% of those of heart disease and stroke can be prevented.
Right.
So here are some of the things that, so we have some uncontrollable risk factors. These are things that you don't have control over, but there's some things that you can maintain them
Okay.
by taking medication,
Okay.
exercising. So these variables are out of your control. Although you can't do anything to change them, it's important to know whether you fall into any of these risk factors. So with that being said, I'm sorry, could you flip back to us for a moment? I like this here. So I'm an advocate for the American for the American Heart Association, and we have this thing. It's called Join the Movement, Shape Your Family History. So I used to go to my family reunions because I wanted to see everyone. That's still, I still want to see everyone, but now I'm on a mission. It's a purpose because they're family coming from different generations, and I like to find out. This is your family tree. So I always like to find out what's in our family history, from grandma to grandpa to aunts and uncles, so I can understand why is this happening to me? Why is the doctor telling me I have this or that? Because I know my family history. So for me personally, my family history, diabetes runs rampant. I'm talking about type 1, insulin dependent. My father, then his father's father, and then my mother's mother. Although they're controlled, it's still in the family. It's in the genes. It's the family history. So I have to be aware of that. And then cholesterol, high cholesterol is prevalent on our side of the family. So those are some things that I needed to know. Remember I told you at 19, my doctor told me that my cholesterol was, so I didn't know that until I was a full grown adult in my late 30s when I found this out. So it's good to share with your children and make sure they have a family tree.
So where can they get this? This is good.
So this is where you can always call up the American Heart Association or get in contact with me, and I'll make sure you get these out. But this is one of the handouts that I love to give when I'm out in the communities. I'm volunteering. I want people to know this is education. This is key. And a lot of people who took them from me, they were just like, I'm going to a family reunion, next week. I'm going to take this, and this is a good resource. So what's in it? I showed you the tree, but it's talking about, go back to the slide, talking about some of those risk factors, right? We talked about those. So uncontrollable, all right? So you need to know your family history, because you need to know whether you fall into any of these high risk categories. So how many risk factors do you exhibit? This is a question for you to answer, not for us to answer. One, your age, especially African-American women. When we get up in age, I'm 55, and then males, because African-Americans, especially women, we are at a greater risk of heart disease than any other of the nationalities. And then your body type. You hold a lot of weight in your stomach, and in your waist. Where are you holding? You're short, you're tall, and are you overweight? So it's about that BMI. And then also your family history. That is key, guys. Number 3, know your family history. And I talked about it, your race, and then your sex. Women are dying from heart disease more than men are. Okay, so that's the one thing. And then here's a healthy heart tip that I like. All right, so the healthy heart tip is stress, self-esteem issues, fear are some of the ways we get off focus. And this is when I share this information with you guys, this is from my heart, from me, what I've experienced, and I'm giving back to you. Because I used to let self-esteem issues and stress take me off focus, right? Do not allow these things of life to dictate how you will live your life. Take back your life, live it to the fullest. You can do it.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
you can definitely do it. So again, so you can put it back on us, Mike. All right, so again, back to the little pamphlet I have here. So I'm gonna give you some good information in here. So this family tree diagram we talked about, you're gonna record your family history and track the conditions that are serious risk for you. So we talk about diabetes, stroke, high blood pressure, hypertension. That's that silent killer, because most of the time people don't know they have high blood pressure until it's too late.
Right.
All right. And then it talked about heart attack at an early age. So you have to think about a family member. So if on the male side, the bloodline, we're talking about a father, an uncle, a brother, that they had heart disease or they died from it at 45, that's something you should be thinking about. Okay, and then it says, and then for women, so it says men age 55, and then it said for women 65, your family history, knowing that that's something that on my side of the family that they died from, I need to be aware of that, all right?
So is it possible that there's no one in my family that has hypertension and all of a sudden I have it?
Yes, because, okay, we're going to get to that nutrition. Sodium, we talk about that, the sneaky sodium, things that you're eating. You're thinking, I didn't eat salt, like I didn't dump salt all over my food, but some of the things that we're eating, full of sodium. And these new health guidelines that came out is saying about sugar. We're eating too much. Now, you're thinking, well, what is sugar going to do? Okay, so sugar, you're eating sugar, whether it's natural sugar from your fruits or the added sugars. You're eating it and you're gaining weight. And when you gain weight, that BMI, that waist is And then the next thing you know, you got heart disease, high blood pressure. So reducing your sugar and reducing your sodium. And we're going to talk more about what you can, about the My Plate. I love My Plate. The pyramid was confusing, but My Plate is awesome.
So
All right.
one more question before you continue. You mentioned going to the family reunions and finding this information out and filling in that diagram.
Absolutely.
Let's say I'm adopted or I don't have any connection with my family out there. Do you have some tips for folks that are in that
That's a
situation?
very good question. Very, very good. So suppose you are adopted or like I have a very close family member. His parents was a friend of mine. His parents died when he was young. When he was his mother when he was 2, his father when he was 5, and then the family got separated. And he
Right.
doesn't know much about it. Well, the only thing I can say is at this point, because you don't know your family history, just educating yourself about those diseases that's out there, knowing your body and knowing those signs and symptoms could be helpful.
Yes.
And maybe you can search for your family. I had someone on Facebook was looking for I think it was a sister or something like that, and she put it out there. I know the name, and she said I was adopted, but I found out some of my family information, and she put it out
Awesome.
there, and she was able to find. So I would say knowing your own body and knowing the signs and symptoms, get educated. Is nothing like an educated patient when you go to your doctors. You should be telling your doctors about you, and then they give you the medical overall about what you can do, and then you should be able to say, well, I don't want to take that medication. Are there other things I can do?
Right.
So it's important that you know your own body.
Boy, that sounds like another program.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So, and then I'm also going to talk about how you can, your risk factors. And so we talked about diabetes, obesity, high blood pressure, the cholesterol levels. You have the LDL, which is the bad cholesterol,
Right.
and then you have the low. You want to keep low HDL, which is the good cholesterol. Smoking, physical inactivity.
Wow.
There's some days you can be a couch potato. So people may think, okay, so I exercise, right? I exercise. I 30 minutes a day. I exercise at least 5 days a week. I'm in there. But think about this. You exercise 30 minutes. That's tops. I'm not doing any more than 30 minutes, and I do it every day. All right, but how long are you sitting per day?
Oh, whew.
Are you
Ding,
sitting
ding, 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 ding.
more than you are exercising?
Oh my gosh.
So say you did that 30 minutes in the morning when you got up,
Right.
but you're at your desk for
That's
8 to
right.
9 hours, and most of
Yes.
us will eat at our desk.
Yes. I'm
You were
guilty.
in your car for another 45 minutes to an hour, maybe more.
Right.
And then you're so exhausted when you get home, you're sitting for the rest of the evening.
Are you looking in my window?
Well, you know what? I'm only speaking from experience. When I was working my 9-to-5 job, I was at my desk for sometimes 10 hours at a day. Not even getting up to go to the bathroom, holding it because I kept thinking, I have to get this assignment done because if I get up, more is going to come. No, take a break every 30 minutes. Stop what you're doing. Stand up. Even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes, and then sit down. So that text message you was going to send your colleague, get up, walk around to their desk, their cubicle, and talk to them and come back.
That's right.
All right. So
Yeah.
get up and keep it moving. Keep
I'm not
it
that
moving,
bad then.
right? All right. So the next slide is talking about some controllable, which I know we've already touched on them, but you need to see them with your own
Okay.
eyes. All right. So again, it's all about your heart. What are some of those controllable risk factors? Okay. These are risk factors that you can control, and they're related to your lifestyle. Remember, we talked about your lifestyle. The choices you make each day about what to eat, whether or not to exercise. I know some days we don't feel like exercising, but make exercising a second nature where it's just come to you that I just got to do it. This is about life and death. It's not about looking in shape. It's about my life, right? My health. All right. So these are areas of your life where you can take control to reduce your risk of heart disease and enhance your overall health. So if you're
Okay.
smoking, stop. Your diet, what are you eating? Your activity level, are you exercising or at least walking? All right. What's your weight? Your doctor tell you that you're 5'2" and you're 200 pounds. And I'm not putting you down. I'm just saying this is what your doctor told you. Too much weight on your knees, your joints, okay? And around your heart, okay? Your drinking habits. If you're drinking, I know I don't drink personally, and I'm not one to judge anyone else, but alcohol has a lot of calories.
It
and you wonder,
does.
why am
Yes,
I
it
fat? All I
does.
drink is 3 glasses of wine, Daniel.
Okay.
Okay, but that's too many calories, all right? And then you see again, stress is still there. You can reduce your now some stresses are good. All right, some are good. Like, I know I'm going to do a show. I'm feeling, ooh, I'm a little stressed. I'm happy. That's okay. But then when it comes to stress, because I don't have money to pay next month's bill,
Job is too much.
My job is too much. I got to quit. So all those kind of things. So some stresses are good.
And it looks like we could do stress as the umbrella,
Yes,
and everything else falls up under that.
Absolutely. All right, so we talked about those controllable risk factors, all right? So before we get into nutrition, that's the next section we're going to talk about in a minute. So I have this other, I'm just full of information, all right? So this other one is called My Life Check, and it's called Life's Better with Life's Simple 7. This is a little card that I usually give out to when I'm out. I know you can't see it clearly, but hit me up and I will share these things with you. And call us tonight. Now, you're going to mention it later, but call us tonight at 9 a.m. 9 p.m. 9 a.m. 9 p.m. with your questions, okay? So this one, it says 7 simple steps that will change your life. I mean, it's just a mindset. If you only get to 1 and 2, that's fine. And then work your way up, okay? So the first one is get active. We said about, I don't have a gym membership. I have money to get to the gym. There are things that I would show you that you can do in your very own home that you can get the exercise that you need. And the main one is walking. And I would say walk with a purpose, all right? Control your cholesterol. Well, I've been diagnosed. The doctors told my cholesterol, my LDL and my HDL is just off the charts. All right. If you have to take that medication, take it. Okay. But still, get to exercising and your diet. All right. And that's the number 3, better diet. Okay. Eat better. We're going to talk about my plate in a little bit. All right. So we're going to get to that. So no worries. All right. Manage your blood pressure. Well, the doctors told me I had hypertension, I have high blood pressure. Again, there is medication. And then 2, with that medication, you still can go and do some things that'll be healthy for you. And I keep telling you, exercise, getting your sleep, because rest is important. You can get too much sleep, which could be bad for your blood pressure, and you can get too little sleep.
Wow.
Okay, I know sometimes, because I know I'm one, sometimes I don't get much sleep. I may get 5 hours of sleep, but as long as I'm not doing that every day, 5 hours, because it's fluctuating your blood pressure, and you don't want to keep having that blood pressure all out of whack.
So then how can the students who are in school that are cramming for these finals get the proper rest?
Okay, well then that's short, because how often do they have finals? Okay, that's the thing. You plan, and like again, it's short term. Not getting enough rest is okay, but not something you're doing on a regular basis. Okay. You're habitual with it. I only had 3 hours last night, and then now I'm drinking all this caffeine because I need to stay up. And then the next night, I'm only getting 3 hours, and then you're sucking down all this caffeine. That is not healthy at all. But for students, okay, I understand. You got finals coming up, but how long are finals? Like for the week.
Right.
Okay, so that's okay if it's just you had that little funky schedule with you drinking the caffeine and you're staying up and you're cramming and you're crunching. But again, what about those P's? People always say about the 5 P's. What are those 5 P's? Preparation. I forgot about those P's, bro. Oh, wait a minute. It says preparation. No, proper something performance.
I know what you're talking about.
So,
yes.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say, if someone knows that when you talk to us tonight at 9 o'clock, you let me know what those 5 P's are. But what I'm saying to you is plan, time management. You got to schedule these things. You know your finals coming up. So I'm answering your question about the college student. You know these finals are coming up. Make sure you study ahead of time. You had plenty of time from the time you started school up to those finals to study, prepare, pace yourself, and then you don't have to cram, because I'm guilty. I'm in school now, and I cram. So so I'm speaking from experience from my heart, and it's not good, because when I feel stressed out, I mean, I'm sleepy, I'm cranky, I'm very irritable.
I start eating the wrong things.
Oh, say it again.
Yes.
And what do you eat? What is some of the things that you eat? You don't have to be specific, but is it sugar or salt?
It's salt. It's
salt. Me too.
It's the chips.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
oh my
chips.
gosh. If it's not the oh my goodness. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about some chips that I can get.
I love cheddar cheese and, and sour cream.
Just the plain Lay's potato chips for me, and sugar. Did I mention in the last show that I am a sugarholic?
Yes, you
I
did.
am recovering.
Okay.
I am recovering.
All right.
Don't deny yourself. If there's some sugar that you want and you desire it, eat it
moderation.
in small. Very
in
good.
Moderation. Yes.
All right. So then lose weight and then reduce your blood sugar, because diabetes. Okay, diabetes sugar doesn't cause diabetes, but it's the sugar, that the glucose in your body. So you just want to pay attention to that. And then stop smoking. Those are life simple 7. And, you can always hit me up and I'll give you that information. Or you can go on heart.org, which is the American Heart Association's web page. Okay? All right, so now, guys, we are you enjoying the show so far? Because I am. And it's lots of information. I think it's good, helpful information.
Yes.
And if it seems a little overwhelming with everything I'm giving you, or I'm talking too fast, it's okay. You can look at the show again.
Your breath away.
And I'm trying to be calm, but my head is saying, you have to give out this information. And I just want to, my bishop, my apostle used to say, I wish I could just hug it into you. All right, so nutrition. Thank you. He's going to keep me on focus. I love it. All right, so we talk about nutrition, right? Nutrition. I'm always repeating myself. I love it. Nutrition, because I want to get it in you, right? The food a person eats can affect the way blood flows through the heart and arteries, right?
Wow.
Remember we said that the nutrients that's flowing through the oxygen-rich blood, the nutrients. So a diet high in saturated fat and cholesterol can gradually cause a buildup in the arteries. That buildup slows down the blood flow and blocks small arteries. I talked about it earlier about atherosclerosis, the hardening of the arteries. Okay,
Right.
that's something to do with cholesterol and with the blockage in the heart. All right, so if the blockages happen in an artery that carries blood to the heart muscle can die. Did you hear that? Die. And what's in those 4, 1 to 5 say in the red? That is a heart attack. All right. Heart attack, a person's still conscious. They're describing their pain, shortness of breath. And then 2, a person can, even if it's a minor heart attack and the pain, they can go through shock because of blood loss, because the heart is stopping the blood. And then they can go out into sudden cardiac arrest, and then you got an issue there. Okay. So if the blockage happens in an artery that carries blood to the brain, and we call that, that's the part of the brain can die. And we call that a stroke, or we call that a brain attack.
Okay.
All right. So the artery, and you heard aneurysms,
Right.
That blockage just bursts open and the blood is
yes.
going out through there.
Yes.
So those are hard to detect those aneurysms. But if you know the warning signs of a heart attack and a stroke, there could be a chance for you there. So the right diet helps keep the arteries clear and reduces the risk of heart problems and stroke.
So this is why there are young kids out there having heart attacks.
But
and
think about our young kids today. When I don't know about you, but when I grew up, we were outside.
Right.
From the time that the sun came up
that's
to
right.
the time that those street
Street
lights came on.
lights came
Mama
on.
said those street lights come on, you in the house.
Right.
We're out playing.
Right.
Kids today, it's all about electronics.
That's right.
They're sitting, working their fingers, getting cramps, but they're not going outside. So if you're sitting, when I sit a lot, I think about eating. So I'm
Right.
always eating while I'm
Gotta
sitting.
be snacking.
Exactly. Snacking. Absolutely. We're not saying snacking's wrong, but
Right.
it's the right types of
That's
snacks
right.
and the portion size. I
That's
have this
right.
thing that I always say about, because I love to eat. So you said, man, I like to snack. I try to do healthy snacks. So I go with this thing with, I do breakfast, snack,
yes.
lunch,
snack,
snack, dinner, and I go snack.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if you eat dinner at 5 and you don't go to bed until 9, in between that little period, you hungry.
Right.
And you don't want to go eating the wrong food.
Right.
So breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner, snack. And I do 7 times a day I eat. My metabolism is way up there for
Yes.
someone my age, my beautiful age. Okay. All right. So let's go to nutrition.
All right.
Nutrition. Did we just talk about nutrition?
But I think there's another piece of
Another
information.
slide. It's another piece of
Tips
information.
for
Slide, please.
a healthy heart.
Yeah, but I want to do a little more. I want to talk about my plate. Is
Oh,
the next one my
yes.
plate?
I
I want to
think
talk about
that
my
is.
plate. That's the next
Yay.
one. Ooh, there it is. All right. See, I was getting all excited for nothing, right?
Yes.
All right. My man, he's on the ball. I
All
love
right,
it.
then.
All right. So we said tips for a healthy heart, a heart-healthy diet. And I'm big on my plate. When I find something that works for me, and it may not work for everyone else, but for the majority of my clients, my plate works. Because I know, Tracy,
I've never
you can
heard
see
of
it.
this.
You've not heard of my plate?
I've never heard
you
of
ever
it.
heard of pyramid?
The pyramid,
Okay,
yes.
So your experience with the pyramid, how did that work for you? Did
Okay,
you understand the
no,
pyramid?
it's confusing.
Okay, it was confusing.
And I was even in a dietary class, to teach me what portions and what meal.
Absolutely.
And I was confused.
And the pyramid for years confused me. I didn't look at it. I said, forget that pyramid. I don't care. But this plate is, we eat on plates, right? Most
Yes.
people,
Yes.
the general public, we eat on plates, whether it's paper, plastic,
That's
or
right.
whatever it is, we eat on a plate. So plate is more, it's more visual, and you can relate to a plate.
Right.
All right. So the majority of your plate is, you want to make sure fruits and veggies are on the majority of your plate.
Yes.
And I say
I
colorful
learned that.
fruits and veggies. Colorful. If you eat a rainbow of food, and then the colors make you feel happy.
Yes.
So if your plate looks happy, you want to eat it. And I'm talking about healthy, so fruits and veggies. And we say grains and protein, and then you can do dairy. But the dairy is like, you want to do, so some people can't do, you want to do low fat or fat-free dairy products. All right. And then two, there's the updated 2010 dietary guidelines from My Plate. You can go to myplate.gov, and then it also has something where it's called the Super Tracker, where you can go in, and this is what I tell a lot of my clients to go to, so you can keep a track of it. But you sign a disclaimer where I can go in and I can see that you are, it tracks your diet, your exercise, it's all that good information, and it tells you how many calories you should be eating based on the information you put in, your age, your weight, your height, and everything. So it takes into account that information, and I love it.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about some of those about building a healthy plate. So we talked about enjoy your food, but eat less. So it's all about portion size. So people don't understand, like, if you can put it back on us for a moment. I was going to use this right here as a hand exercise for reducing stress because you're sitting at your desk all day. But this is a good size to show if you had an apple. You want to do small sizes because I'm huge apples.
Yes.
Like, ooh, that apple looks so good. But that's there could be 2 to 3 servings of an apple. But if you eat one, it's all about, I had another sample here that it's all about like a deck of cards.
Yes.
So you've heard of it, so you understand that.
Yes.
But sometimes we go to these expensive restaurants, right? And they give you these small little portions of food, and you're looking like, I paid $30 for this, and this is all the food that I'm getting. But see, that's control, food control, that's side portion control. That's what you want. But we go to some of these other places, and look, I go to those places sometimes too. It's a $5 for the sale, and you get a big. My husband bought me the steak and cheese last night. I mean, we went to a good place. We paid some money for the steak and cheese, but it was huge. And I was just like, see. And I'm talking about myself. That's why we fat. Because we eating up this whole sandwich with it had green peppers on it. It had red peppers. It had onions, all the stuff I like. But the meat and the cheese and the bread and the grease was just dripping. Now, that's a good steak and cheese.
Oh, my
The
gosh.
grease was just dripping down I said, I'm going to have to get me that apple cider vinegar and that cayenne pepper and that water. I'm about to drink that for the rest of the week. Woo! But it was good, y'all. It was good. All right. So we talked about knowing how to read labels. Guys, you can see this. It's so bright and pretty. Learn how to read those labels. Hit me up, and we will go over how to read those labels. I go to the grocery store now, and it takes me forever in the grocery store because don't be fooled by the package.
That's right.
The package is like, low fat, reduce this and reduce that. And you read the back, and you're like, what is that? You can't pronounce it. That's all I'm saying. If it's hard for you to pronounce, and you don't know what you're putting in your body?
Well, I know when I took the diabetes class, they said that you can have 45 grams of carbohydrates and 60 if you are exercising. And so now I'm reading total carbohydrates before I buy anything.
Exactly. So, but still know about those carbs, those fats, and the proteins, because a lot of that is in the food. You got to have that balance. We learned about the 449, 4 grams of carbs, 9 grams of fat, and 4 grams of protein.
Okay.
So you need to know about those. So yeah, fats, 449. I may have mixed it up, but 449. Protein, fats, and carbohydrates. But we do need some carbs. Make sure they're good carbs because that's brain food. That gives our brain the energy. So you can't reduce all the carbs, but make sure it's the healthy carbs and not those, the fried stuff and the
I can't have a plate of French fries.
Oh, absolutely no. I mean, sometimes you get a little bit. I mean, it's okay. Like I said, don't deprive yourself of the things that you want because, again, I'm speaking from my experience. I went on this whole vegan diet. I did the vegan thing where I didn't eat any animal products whatsoever, and I did it for a year. But I found out with this that if you don't know much about that vegan type diet, you're not eating a proper balance. Remember we talked last month about the A, B, C, M, V?
Right.
We talked about that?
Yes.
So if you're not doing the adequate amount, you're not doing a balance, you're not doing calorie control, you're not doing in moderation and doing variety, you could lose your healthy fats, which I end up doing. I was losing healthy fats. Fat is good because it's cushion. You bump
Yes.
into something you want. I didn't get hurt that bad because you got that healthy fat in your
Right.
body and your tissues. You need that. But it's when you eat that unhealthy thing. So I was just saying about the vegan diet. You really have to know how to balance it because
It's
a
a
lot of
lifestyle.
vegans, it's a lifestyle,
lifestyle.
definitely a lifestyle. All right, so what's our time? Ooh, I'm good. He
Yeah.
didn't flip the screen. I'm learning to look up and get your cue. Yeah, I'm learning, guys. I'm learning. All right, so the
right.
next one is exercise, exercise, exercise.
All
What's the
right.
song? Exercise, exercise.
Exercise.
Come on,
Everybody
everybody, let's
do the
do the
exercise.
exercise. So that's what I'm singing
That's
to you
a
guys.
back in the day, y'all.
Yes. Oh, we're dating ourselves. Woo! But it's all good because we look good, right? Mhm. All right. So exercise makes the heart stronger. It helps it pump more blood with each heartbeat. The blood then delivers more oxygen to the body, which helps it function more efficiently.
Yes.
And that's so important. Exercise can help lower your blood pressure. So we say it can. But if you're not exercising and you're not doing a proper exercise, you're not doing it for the duration.
Right.
Yeah. So it can lower blood pressure, reduce the risk of heart disease, and reduce the levels of LDL. Remember, we said that was the bad cholesterol,
Right.
which clogs the artery. I talked about atherosclerosis, so the hardening of the arteries. You don't want that. All right. And then it says try to exercise at least 30 minutes, and that's the bare minimum. I told you my population are mostly the sedentary people that you want to, because you don't want to. You've been sitting for 6 months or maybe a year, and all of a sudden you want to go and just start running sprints and doing all these aerobic classes, and your
Ouch.
heart is saying, "What are you
You
doing?"
doing? That's right.
Right, and your knees and everything else. I said, "Why are you crazy?" So take it slow. Try to exercise at least 30 minutes every day, and guess what? I don't have time to do 30 minutes at one time. That's okay. Do 10-minute increments.
Right.
10 in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, 10 at night. That doesn't work for you? 15 in the morning, 15 at night.
Right.
Get it in, people. Keep it moving. So, and then two, your healthcare provider may make a different recommendation based on your health. So I keep saying, so the one thing is as personal fitness trainers, when a client comes to me and we have you fill out a HSQ and a PARQ because we want you to write down information about your history, medications, have you seen your doctor? The doctor say it's okay for you to get a clearance. Still, as my profession, I still need to go and you sign a consent that I talk to this doctor because we need to work together as a team
Right.
so we know what's best for you.
That's
So don't
right.
get offended when you say, you need to know my doctor. You're not going to see my doctor. Then I'll just have to say, you're not the client for me because your health is everything. All right,
That's
I saw
right.
the cue. I'm getting good. All right.
Okay.
All right, so we talked about exercise and just a few. So Tracy, we could do an exercise. We could straighten with the ones we're going to do about our
Okay,
neck. So we're going to
Mike, we want everybody to see this.
Yes, we're going to get back to that because I'm not going to go over.
Mike.
But that'll be the next. So after we show these exercises, that'll be the next screen.
Yes,
that'll be the next one.
One
Okay.
or two quick exercises.
Yes, one or two quick. Okay, one. So we're gonna do the neck and the neck. So we're gonna do here. So we're gonna go side to side. You can stretch it. That's a good stretch.
Okay.
These are desk exercises. So if you're sitting at your desk for long periods of time, and then you've been on that phone, especially holding. I guess they have ear things so far. Okay, so now we're gonna do the work our higher back. So we're gonna take here. And here, stretch. Next one, too, stretch. We're sitting in our desk. So lower your shoulders. Make sure your shoulders are down.
Okay.
And you're going to stretch it. So hug yourself. And you're going to reach. So hugging yourself. So hug. You can hug yourself. It's always good to hug yourself. Hug yourself. So we did the neck. We did hugging ourselves.
Yes.
And this is another good one for your obliques, okay? So this is for your back and your shoulders. So reach over. So you've been sitting at your desk all day. You're like, I need to stretch it over.
Okay.
All right, then the next side. So reach that side over too. Reach, really stretch it out to your abilities. Don't try to overstretch because that can hurt you too. So don't try to overstretch, but make
Felt
sure you
something
stretch.
crack.
No, we don't. Well, maybe that was, I'm not. It's not painful though, right?
No, it's not
Okay,
painful.
So that's good. So
It's
sometimes
good.
I have them joints cracking because they're like, I haven't been worked out in a minute. I'm not
Okay.
saying you, but I know that's what my body
Okay,
says.
all right.
All right.
Let's take her
All right,
home.
let's take me home.
Last slide, please.
All right. So now that you know, what are you going to do? Okay, sounds simple, doesn't it? But cardiovascular disease, we know, is #1 cause of death, especially for women in the United States. Stroke is #4. I admonish you to start taking charge of your health, your heart, your life by incorporating what you have just learned, and then you can start reducing all of the modifiable risk factors for heart disease, heart attack, and stroke.
All right. Okay.
I got it in.
So I know we have run out of our time. I want you to call in tonight. This is how you can reach Coach D. But the next slide is we're going to be live tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So this is a number that you can dial along with the passcode, and you can ask Coach D anything that you want. If you can't make that call, then hit her up on Twitter at #IamFit or MentorMe411.
Yes,
And
awesome.
So we'll be back.
It was fun. Yes.
We'll be back next week with social health. And when you visit Coach D, she's going to be able to offer you a journal that you can keep track of your physical fitness. So
that's my 30-day physical fitness. Yes.
We want you
to
be
get it in.
Safe,
be safe,
smart,
be smart,
be healthy.
Be healthy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, 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 hey. Well, I wear my clothes like this because I can. And I wear my hair like this because I can. And I walk around like this because I can. And I do my thing like this because it's who I am. And if you expect me to give you an apology for being nothing that you're used to, go right ahead and wait. Hold your breath and concentrate. Keep holding till your face turns blue. My road ain't your road, but just I know just where I'm going. And my flow ain't your flow, but just I know just how I'm flowing. I'ma do my thing. Please feel free to hate and complain. I'ma do my thing. Say what you want, but this one ain't gonna change. I'ma do my thing. I can't wear my clothes like you because I'm not. I can't do my hair like you because I'm not. I can't walk around like you because I'm not. I can't do my thing like you, well it just ain't hot. And if you're expecting me to give you an apology for being nothing like you used to, go right on and head away. Wait, hold your breath and concentrate. Keep holding till your face turns blue. See my road, it ain't your road, but trust I know just where I'm going. And my flow, it ain't your flow, but trust I know just how I'm flowing. I'ma do my thing. So please feel free to hate and complain. I'ma do my thing. And say what you like, 'cause this one ain't gonna change. I'ma do my thing. You don't know where I'm going, and so you think I'm lost. I ain't on your page, okay? So to you that means I'm off. When I dance to the beat of a drummer you don't hear and you can't see. So if I look offbeat to you, well the problem must be you, not me. Irregular but never irrelevant, unusual but never uncool. You're not cut from my clothes, you don't get me. Well I